Ouch, was that a ghost? Was that a ghost?
With Liz?
And Lee. My laugh sounds cuter than I look.
You look
For sure.
miserable today.
Yeah, I'm having a tough day.
Your giggle brightens my day.
Thanks. Okay. I'm
That
happy
got
now.
really
Go.
awkward.
It did, but I'm happy, so go.
So, this is the story of Mary Webster. She was born Miss Mary Reeve in England, somewhere between 1617 and 1624. She was born to Thomas and Hannah Reeve. Are you yawning already? My
What?
gosh.
No, I'm not. I don't have a Diet Pepsi. I'm sorry.
It smells like chemicals. I don't even know if I want to drink it. According to New England's Historical Society, Mary, when she was 46 years old, married William Webster, who was 53 years old, which back then that was like a spinster age. You know what I mean? Like 46-year-old unmarried. Ew. They settled in a Puritan town of Hadley, Massachusetts.
Bullshit.
You've heard of Massachusetts, correct?
I think that's like north of New York, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or
I think
south or east or west.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Somewhere.
So, because this was so long ago, some things are really hard to find. I didn't see if she had children or not, but I don't think so because I think they would have been listed. They weren't
Wait,
a wealthy.
what year was this from again?
She was born in 1617 to
Oh, dang.
1624, somewhere in that area.
Mhm.
And then this was taking place about 40 years later. So we're like 1660s, around there. So they weren't a wealthy family. They lived in a small little house and they really struggled to get by. So sometimes she relied on people in the community to make it. Like she'd be like, they'd help her out with food, rent, whatever.
Right.
Probably
Okay.
not rent, but probably just food. Hay bales, I don't know. So now Mary was described as having a fiery temper, which of course a woman cannot be like that. A woman had to be pleasant at all times. So something had to be wrong with her. I hope you sense my sarcasm. So a quote by Sylvester Judd from his book, The History of Hadley, said she was despised and sometimes ill-treated. She was soured with the world and rendered spiteful towards some of her neighbors. They began calling her a witch and abuse her. So basically, people were being wicked rude to her, and she wasn't just sitting there and taking it. So, of course, she's a witch.
She's a witch.
Yes. So this was about 10-ish years before the Salem witch trials. People were being accused. Let me rephrase. Women were being accused left and right, but weren't really being convicted at this time. There was just a lot of accusations. But even if you're found innocent, people still speculate and still call you a witch, you know?
Mhm.
So then the town, just because of like her sour attitude or her fiery temper, as they said, they just started to harass her all the time. And they would have animals that would walk by the house. There was like a field they went to, and then they'd walk back with their cows. And if the cow didn't go straight by her house, they would literally go in and disturb the witch, is what it's called. It's basically they'd go in and beat the crap out of her so the animal could pass. And think about her age right now. We're talking about a woman like in her late 50s. And they'd just be like, oh, let's just go disturb the witch. And then they also
What the hell?
accused her of having a witch's mark, but it was probably just a scar from boiling water, which she fell
Or a
into.
tramp stamp, that's something. Wait, you just said she fell into boiling water?
Yeah, they had like, you know how they used to boil the kettles in the fireplace?
Oh yes, how witches had that pot that they
Well,
boiled. Got it.
witches, yes, but people as well. But she fell into it and she had like a scar from that.
Oh shit, were you gonna
But
mention that or?
well, that was just a small little that was basically like that a cat fell down a chimney and she kind of fell into the water and she burned herself. But then everyone in town was like, oh, she has a scar. So that must be a witch's mark. Like they were just on her because
Damn.
she wasn't
Yeah.
smiling all the time. Like
Was she
she had
ugly?
like I couldn't find a picture of her.
Wait, have you because I know some people just have low patience for ugly people.
I think it's just she wasn't pleasant. Like a woman back
Have
then,
you
that's like they
seen Yeah.
lobotomize you just for not smiling to your husband.
Yeah, no, I was just kidding. Have you seen the new Kevin Hart stand-up on Netflix?
No, I didn't know there was a new one.
Okay.
I'm so watching it though.
It is probably I think personally, I think it's the funniest one he's ever done. He talks about ugly people and he's like, I got no fucking patience for the ugly people. He's like, he gives this whole story, and then all of a sudden he turns around and he's like, and then I realized I was the ugly one, and da-da-da. Like, you just have to hear it. It was hilarious. That's
I will
hands
give
down
it a
probably the
listen.
best one he's done. Sorry, keep going.
Okay. So the town, because, the animals were turning in front of her house because animals do what animals do, they brought her to court in March of 1683 to the Northampton courthouse, but they were like, we can't handle this. So they sent the case to Boston. So now she's been in jail holding for a month in April. And during the trial, they discussed how she had familiars. You know what familiars are?
No.
They're like witches always have like black cats or birds, and they're like,
Oh, yeah, okay.
they help them.
Mhm.
So her familiars were supposedly Fisher cats. Do you know what Fisher cats are? They're like
Yes.
they're like behind Kayla's
They make,
house.
like, the weird yeah.
Yeah, they're like really vicious looking cats. I think they're really
Mhm.
cute, but
I think they're cute, but they will fuck you up.
yeah, they're definitely tough. So they were Fisher cats that were her familiars, they said, and she had markings on her, which can literally be a pimple or like a birthmark. You know what I mean? And this
Yeah.
poor woman, imagine the humiliation having like all these men searching your body for marks. Like who honestly would
I
be
bet they did it
blemished?
right in the middle of the courthouse in front of everyone.
So disgusting. So fast forward, she was brought to trial and she was found not guilty. So she went home to Hadley, Mass. So the people of her town still sucked, and they continued disturbing the witch. And think about, she's like 60 or 70 years old now. So these people are just beating the crap out of her for no reason. So
I
this,
mean, it's not funny, but
it's
it's kinda
not.
just
It's
like
ridiculous.
it's a little funny. It's a little
This
funny.
poor woman, because she wasn't like smiling and skipping. That's literally why.
And get it. Like,
Look at you. You'd be screwed. You have like a rusted bitch face. You would be screwed.
just,
Like you're
like,
always happy, but you just have that face
jumped
like,
on a regular basis.
seriously.
Cooking dinner. Oh, fuck! Ah!
So there was this one
Okay.
guy in town, Philip Smith, who he was described as a prominent man of the town. He held many offices and he was like a really well-liked, respected man. And this was about a year after Mary's acquittal. So Philip started suffering fits, as they called it, or delirium. So while under delirium, they described pots of medicine would empty near Philip. And at some point, he said, like while he was delirious, said he saw a female in his room. So obviously it had to be Mary.
Who else
So
would it have been?
some describe when his arms and legs were being held, they said they felt something stir in the bed as big as a cat, but nobody could find it or grab it. So
It
that
was
must be
one of
Mary
her
too.
Fisher cats.
Yes. What else could it possibly be? And then people would be in the room and they'd be like, oh, look, there's a fire on the top of our bed. But then when somebody would turn to look, it would be gone. Isn't that crazy?
You think they were making it up, or there really was a fire?
It must have been. It just disappeared. It was probably all Mary. I don't know. I call BS, but what do I know? I wasn't there. So a group of lads, it's described, tried a different type of disturbing the witch because Philip wasn't getting any better. So they went in and
They were getting over just beating the shit out of an old woman for fun.
Yeah, so they were trying something a little bit different,
Nice.
outside the box.
Switch it up a bit.
So they went into her house and dragged her out. And remember, this is an elderly woman. The boys worked together. They tied a rope around the tree branch and around her neck and left her hanging for a good while. Well, it's described that they then took her body down, rolled her around in the snow for a bit, and then they buried her in the snow.
Alive?
They hung
Or-
her. She was hanging there for hours. So then
I'm an
Smith
idiot.
died a short time after. The townspeople described his body as being warm, with blood running down his cheek, swelling on one of his breasts. Because you know how they always say that, like, witches suckle on their teats, and then his back had bruises all over it, and he had holes on his body appearing to be made by owls or claws.
He probably had the damn plague.
Probably.
Like,
But people also describe how noises could be heard from where the body was kept, which bodies make noise after death, but okay. As for Mary, some time had passed, and she just got up and went home. I feel like this isn't clicking in your head yet. So as for Mary...
no, so she was hung.
for
Then
hours,
they played soccer with her body in the snow,
and then buried her in the snow.
and then buried her, and then she resurrected.
She just got up and went home and she lived another 11. I've seen 11 to 14 years, but I see 11 more. So 11 years, and I'm sure never in peace. The town probably harassed her until her passing. And then she was laid to rest.
Well, at that point, I'm sorry, you guys can't see my face, but my jaw is open. Oh my God, I have dropped my bottom lip. Huh? What in the world? In the town, I mean, at that point, you're a witch. At that point, you just they just had a soccer tournament with your corpse. And
This
then,
poor woman.
I mean, it's disgusting. It's so messed up that they did this to this poor woman. But I mean, after all that, I think I might have joined in on the jumpings at dinner time. What in the world?
Disturbing the witch. So she was laid to rest at the old Hadley Cemetery in Hadley, Massachusetts. So, of course, the loser, Cotton Mathers, had to get involved. If you don't know who he is, he was a big part of the Salem witch trial, and he was pretty much the reason why things went the way they did.
Yeah.
And he, of course, had to include his thoughts on the situation in his book, but he was nowhere near this whole situation. He just had to, like, put this whole thing about her in his book. And to end it, a side note, you love my side notes. Do you know Margaret Atwood?
Margaret. No, I do not know Margot.
Well, Margaret Atwood claims that Mary Webster was her ancestor, and she dedicated a little book called The Handmaid's Tale to her. For anyone who hasn't watched or read this masterpiece, it takes inspiration from all the terrorizing of innocent women during the witch hunt era. And she wrote a poem about Mary, which tells from Mary's perspective all the time she was hanging. And if you want to look it up, it's a nice homage to a poor woman who was harassed for no reason other than not having a constant smile on her face.
Wow. I can't believe that. What in the world? And then the fact that her ancestor wrote Handmaid's Tale. If you haven't seen that show, oh my gosh, you need to watch that show. It is the craziest show I've ever seen in my life. No, I lied.
Blessed
No,
be the
let me
fruit.
take that back. May the Lord open.
That show is so good, though.
It is so good.
And it's crazy that every part of that show was based off of something that has happened in real life.
What?
Like every single aspect of that show, the forced impregnation, like every single part of it, look it up, and throughout history, it has been done somewhere at some time.
Really? You love researching everything. I do not. I am just here for the ride. Someone jump me at dinner. Like, I don't. But I love talking to you. You fill me up with so much information.
But
that is so cool. Wow.
Don't you feel so bad for her?
I did until she walked back home after being buried under the snow.
But what losers, just because she wasn't smiling and she'd, like, people talk crap to her and she'd talk it back. So they're like, oh, a witch.
She was being a witch. Not in that sense. But, wow. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely sad. Obviously, before you find out that she was a witch, it's sad that they treated her like a witch.
Well, it was good for her.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like you said, it was a long time ago. Maybe she was doing some nasty things and she wasn't as nice as people like to make her seem.
Maybe.
Thanks so much for listening. If you have a story you'd like us to share, email us at ouchwasthataghost@yahoo.com.
Don't forget to follow our Facebook page, Ouch, Was That a Ghost?